All right, thank you so much for joining me in class today. So the focus of this class is going to be 30 minutes abdominals and arm work, though there'll probably be a little bit of leg work because that's how it goes. I'm just sticking with the hand weights, but if you find that the resistance band works better for you, you can do the exact same thing with a resistance band instead of the weights in a lot of cases, just holding on to them. If you don't have small hand weights, you can always just use the body weight of your arms, or soup cans can work out great, or small water bottles. These are about 2 pounds, play around with how much weight you need. Light will work though for the work that we're doing today. The other thing that I have with me today is a large bath towel. If you have a carpeted floor that does not slide, you can also try using a paper plate or 2 paper plates underneath your hands or your feet, or furniture sliders if you have those. This is just like a very cheap version of a furniture slider because most people have a towel. So that's that. Let's just get started. We're going to do a little bit of a warm up here for our shoulders, and then we're going to just take it from there. So if you want to use the glider or your towel today, what I'm going to suggest for this shoulder warm up is, so we have space, I'm just folding my mat over so my torso and my back have somewhere to lie down. And then my feet are going to end up being on this slider. So I'm going to unfold it so it's just like so, just so there's room for both feet. And then you're going to come onto your back, knees bent, feet flat. Your torso can rest on your mat, and you want your feet on the slider. And I have socks on, so actually I could even just use my socks if I wanted to, but going with easy today. All right, so I want you to take your arms up in the air, and then just take a moment here, reaching both arms up for the ceiling, feeling how the ribs get heavy on the mat when you do that. Try not to shrug your shoulders into your ears, and then let your shoulders hug down. Do that a few times. So just starting to become aware of the shoulders. Now, if you want to already start to get fancy, you can play with reaching the arms up as you slide the feet out. Try to keep the ribs heavy on the mat, and then shrug the shoulders down into the mat as you pull your feet in. So that's level 2. We're going to do one more like that, and then we're going to add on from here. All right, now if this feels okay, hopefully you're starting to get warm. You've got a sense of how things are sliding. Let's put our arms, actually, let's take our arms up towards the ceiling. My bad. Haha, I knew where I was going and then I forgot. Okay, so now what I want you to do is just lower your arms down as you slide your feet out. Keep the ribs heavy on the mat so you're not going to lift your back, and then reach the arms up as you pull the legs in. So here is option A. Stay with option A as long as you like. If your neck will feel okay doing this, option B is to curl and reach the legs, and then coming back up. So not unlike what we would do on a reformer. Option C is going to be to take one leg and tabletop, and then to slide the leg out the other way. So play with that if you like. Starting to get a little bit warm through the abs and arms. Starting to increase the range of motion. Now, when I start to take my arms overhead to increase the range of motion, for me, I spin my palms in because that actually feels better on my shoulders. Good work. Take the arms up, bend your knees. If you're going to switch feet, now would be an excellent time. Now take your arms down by your sides. Hover your elbows off of the mat. That's going to be key. And the first thing you're going to do is just a basic bicep curl. Now, of course, you can do your basic bicep curl right here, elbows hovering off the mat. You can go with the tabletop leg, or again, you can do the curling up, a little bit of coordination, and then the stretching of the leg as you lower down. Take this as slow as you need to feel like you can control your segments, keeping equal weight on both butt cheeks. Curling up, lowering down. 2 more times. Curling up, lowering down. 1 more time. Curling up. Try to keep your pelvis square. Lowering down. Let everything rest. Nicely done. Okay, from here, we're gonna move on and we're gonna play a little bit with roll-ups. So there's a lot of choices here. And again, I'm gonna layer them in for you. So if you need to roll to your side to come on up, great. If you wanna be fancy with me in the transition and play, if it doesn't go super brilliantly, that's all right too. I want you to nod your nose, bend your knees as much as needed, and then just roll up to seated. All right, so we're gonna play with roll-ups here. Lots of sneaky things you can do. So the first thing is the hand weights are optional. For many of you, it'll make this roll up feel more accessible, but for some of you, your shoulders will not be happy and you'll want to put the hand weights down. You do you. So the arms will reach out. First thing I want you to play with here is just rolling a little bit back and then rolling a little bit up. So that's option A. I'm going to show you that one more time. You again are welcome to stay with option A for as long as you like. Take breaks whenever you need. Option B is going to be rolling down, and then if you wish, straightening out the legs on the mat, keeping the ribs heavy. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, nod your nose, and then you're just going to roll yourself back up to seated. Try that 2 more times, and then we're going to layer in a little bit more fun. Nodding the nose. Curling up. Remember, you can always stick with the half roll back. Do one more like that. Now I'm going to show you option C. Now this time, as you nod your nose, we're all going to curl up. If you want to come with me, here is another option or variation, stretching a leg. And then you're going to lower it down, stretch the arms and legs away from you, nod your nose, bring it in, stretch a leg, alternating sides. Coming up, stretching a leg. Let's do one more like that. Ribs stay heavy. Nod your nose, curling up, stretch a leg. Place it down, put the weights down, sit up for just a moment. Quick little reprieve. All right, we are going to go back in. Now, here is the deal with this next one. So we're going to be doing arm work, seated, leaning back, things like twisting and rows. So here's the deal. If your shoulders again get tired, just put the weights down. And if being in this position doesn't feel good on your back, I want you to just follow along with me on the arm work. But your alternative, instead of sitting, is going to be just kneeling with or without your weights. So keep that in mind. If kneeling is a better position for your low back than sitting, or your upper back or your neck, here is option B. Take it. Absolutely no shame. It's just a variation. Otherwise, come along with me if you want to try the seated version. Grab your weights if you intend to use them, at least for part of it. Take a breath in. Exhale, roll halfway back. Open up the collarbones and hold. And now I want you to exhale, pull your left elbow back, reach your right arm forward, look over your shoulder, and then back to center. And then switch sides. And back to center. Good work. Really reaching and pulling. One more like that. All right, hold here. Spin your palms to face up. Can you go back 1 more inch, opening up the collarbones? Let's do a few bicep curls. Elbows high for shoulder challenge. Elbows low if your arms are starting to be a little bit cooked. Now again, if you want to feel fancy, maybe returning to this fun little pattern, but now in seated. Good. One more like that. Pause, switch, other leg up, and then when you're ready, whoop, there it is. Lifting out of the hips. Let's go 2 more. Final one. That's it. Sit all the way up. Rest. Nice work. Okay, hopefully your arms and abs are a little cooked in that position. I don't know about you. I'm ready to move on to something else. So that is what we are going to do. So again, the weights are going to come back. We're going to do some posture work now on our stomach, and we're going to sneak in some shoulders with that. So what I want you to do here is probably unfold your mat. And then you're going to flip on to your stomach, and we're going to have our towel in front of us, which we'll end up using for some things in a bit. So you'll probably need to scoot forward so your towel has somewhere to go, and your hands will be on your towel. So first thing I want you to do here is just take your legs about sit-bone distance apart. I like parallel legs. That feels good on my lower back and sacrum. If wider and turned out feels good for you, cool. If you really like legs together, no shade. You do you. All right, so we're just going to warm up the back first, and then we're going to add some arm work to this. When you take an inhale here, exhale, slide your shoulders down your back, look slightly forward, and reach the crown of your head forward and up to the wall in front of you until you feel your upper back muscles connect into your shoulders. Ribs stay on the mat, and then coming down. Let's do 2 more. You are absolutely welcome to stay with this version the entire time. Think about stretching and strengthening out through your legs. Let's go 1 more. And then coming down. Level 2, a little bit more dynamic movement. Stretch your arms out in front of you with that towel. Hands will be on the towel here or on the paper plates or gliders. So feel your shoulders glide into your ears. With straight elbows, slide your shoulders down your back, and now traction your arms down to lift the chest. Looking slightly up and forward, and then stretch through your arms, reach the crown of your head to the wall in front of you, lowering down. These can be tiny, by the way. And again, lifting up, slide your shoulders down your back. I'm really pressing into my pinky fingers to activate the backs of my shoulders, and then reaching forward and coming down. Let's go 2 more. Shoulders slide down the back. Crown of the head reaches forward. Gaze comes up slightly. And coming down, we're going to add 1 more little piece to this. Slide up. Now stay here, and I want you to bend your elbows, pull the towel towards you, and then reach the arms out in front of you. And then bend the elbows. Now I'm doing this in a spinal extension, but if that feels like a little much, you can bring your gaze to the mat, hover your head, and do the exact same thing in a much smaller movement. Let's go 2 more. Pull it towards you. Feel the shoulders slide down the back. Almost squeeze them down and together a little bit. Really activate the backs of your shoulders. 1 more time. Good work. Now reach the arms out. If you need a break, take a break. If you want a little bit of extra challenge for shoulders, have your weights close by. And if you know that your shoulders are not going to like that, don't use the weights. Okay. So now your arms are out in front of you. Notice my palms are facing in. We're not using the towel. We're just going to do a little bit of upper back and shoulder work. So hover your chest a little bit. And then all I want you to play with here is lift an opposite arm and leg and touch it down, and then switch sides. So when you straighten your leg, make sure your knee is straight first and your leg lifts off second. So the knee is not allowed to bend. You're going to try to keep the knee straight. Good. Keep these going. Now options, if you have a shoulder thing, is perhaps to just have the elbows bent. You can still do the exercise just without the arms in front of you. Good. Trying to keep equal weight across the front of the hips and the ribs. If you wish to go faster than me, cool, go for it. I like a moderate pace personally. Let's go 1 more. Ugh, good job. Come on down. Set your weights to the side. Bring the towel to you. And now let's just push ourselves on up and transition into some plank work. Everyone's favorite thing in the world. All right, so for this, I think that we are going to we'll use the towel in a couple of different ways. Let's actually turn around, so we'll end up if we use the towel for our feet. So just spin around on your mat. Come on hands and knees for just a moment. All right, so similar to the warm-up we did in the beginning, let's just take a moment to really find and feel our shoulders. I want you to spin your elbows forward for me. And when I say spin elbows forward, what I actually mean is spin the elbow pit forward so the upper arm externally rotates and your chest is open. And then let your chest come down for just a moment, keeping the elbows straight, and then push into your hands and feel your shoulder blades slide apart. Just do that a couple times so you can really kind of feel like, where are your shoulders along your back? And then find something in the middle of those two extremes. All right, once you feel comfortable here, again, just fun with progressions. I want you to just play with tucking your toes and hovering your knees off of the mat and then touching your knees down. So just do that a few times. So this is option A, or you can hold any plank of your choosing for any amount of time that you like if these little variations end up not working for you. Okay, so now option B is going to be to hover the knees, slide the feet out. We did this on Monday, but we're going to add on this week or this class. Pull it in, touch your knees down. Yeah? Try that 2 more times. Hover your knees, slide out, try to keep your head up, pull in, whew, come down. If you've got a sticky spot on your floor, it's harder. And notice if you're pushing way over your hands. I just caught myself doing that. I'm going to walk my hands maybe a smidge forward. Okay. Adding on to this fun. So hover the knees, send it out. Okay, now what I want you to do is pull the knees in on an angle, send them out. And I'm running into my mat, so I'm going to be sneaky and walk my hands back a little. And then there, now I've got a little more excursion and take it out. So now a little bit of rotation. Blah. Remember, you can always stick with the other choices I gave you. Keep these going of just hovering the knees and coming down, yeah? Otherwise, let's try just a couple more. Where's your head? Good. Last 2 if you wish. So much fun. Final one. Take it out. Pull it in. Sit back. Shake out. Awesome work. Let me do a quick time check because I can talk forever, as it turns out. All right, let's give wrists a little bit of a break, shall we? Time for just a little bit of fun with arm work. So what we're going to do here is let's take, shall we? Yeah, let's fold the mat in half. I'm actually just going to spin it. And this is going to give me some choice to not feel like I'm falling all over the place for this next bit that we're going to do. So no towel needed. 1 knee on, 1 knee off. So I just like this if your mat is squishy because you're going to feel a little bit more stable. So I want you to the tendency is to sort of let the pelvis drop back. I want you to tuck the pelvis forward and feel your ribs connect right over your pelvis. And then from here, your arms are going to be by your sides. Let's actually bend our elbows here. And the first thing we're going to do is just press the arms forward and then bring them in. For my Pilates people, some of you might know this one from being on the reformer. All right, now here's the deal. We haven't done any leg work yet. So this alone is going to be hip and balance work for many of you, but I know we've got a lot of levels in the room. So what I want you to play with, if you wish, is to hover the back knee and try it here. It's going to be a little bit more challenge. The third option, if kneeling is not your friend, is simply to stand and just do it up here. All of these choices are absolutely valid. They're just choices, yeah? Bring it in and out. Good work. And press 1 more. And press. Bring it in, lower your knee. We're going to switch sides. So pop that leg back, pop the other leg forward. All right. New shoulder exercise. This time what we're going to do is float the arms up, palms facing in on a diagonal and lowering down. So again, take a moment. I'm really lazy here in my right hip today. So I have to kind of pull my right hip back, use my left leg a little more, which is not my brain's favorite thing to do for me in balance. So again, option A, kneeling, still some work, especially if you firm that left butt cheek. Option B, hover that back knee, reaching the arms. Option C, if those first 2 are not working for you, are just do it in standing. Good work. Think about trying not to lean backwards so your ribs stay right over your pelvis. That's it. Hang in there, final 2. And last 1. Good work, lower all the way down to rest. Nice job. All right, last thing we're gonna play here with a little bit of side lying variations. So what I'd advise is let's unfold the mat one more time. You will no longer need those little hand weights. And again, I'm gonna give you a couple choices because for my folks who wanna try something a little fancy, this will be your opportunity. Now, how you have to configure your mat versus your slider is going to depend. So just keep that in mind. We may all need to do a little rearranging and just choose to be okay with that because that's the fun with sliding things. Yes, we've got just enough time. Okay, so I want you to come onto your side here. And again, before I get into the fancy variation, I just want you to sort of see your choice. So first thing I want you to do here is come onto your side, and I want you to notice I've got my hand on the towel. Your other hand can press on the floor, and you can make a hand palm down or a fist. And the first thing you can play with here is simply just sliding the towel to you, lifting your body a little bit, and then pushing the towel away. So this is absolutely work for your obliques or your side abs. Keep that in mind. All right. For those of you who are happy with your life choice with this one today, please stick with this. For those of you who want a little bit more, what happens if you hover your hand? And then for those of you who are proficient in the land of teaser, here is a grand finale. You don't have to take it. It just exists for those of you who want to play. If it's ugly, no worries. What you're going to do is come up, swing around, find your position, and now come down with control, whoop, to lower. Yes? I'm going to scoot a little forward on my mat to make that work, so I got a little more excursion. Let's try that 2 more times. So remember, option A, come up and hold. Option B, pivot, and then descent. Nice work. Final one, either up and hold, or if you want to go for it, pivot, swing around, and lower. Awesome job. Guess what? We got to do that all on the other side to finish. So let's do the thing. You can roll over if you want. I'm literally going to swing my mat on down so I got space for my long arms and switch sides. So you're going to come onto your side. You're going to let your head rest on your bottom arm. Let's just prep this first, fist or hand on the floor. First thing I want you to do is slide your shoulder down, little lift, and just notice if this is a different shoulder. It certainly is for me. And lower down. And again, little lift and lower down. Now, option B. And again, you might be like, wow, I am not as talented on one side. That is me for sure. Yeah? Okay. Option C, if you're going to go for it. That rep I just did was a throwaway. Haha. Maybe you need a little more space in front of you. Maybe you don't. I'm going to adjust. All right. Arm comes up. Let's just see what happens. If it's not the prettiest in the world, who cares? So I want you to slide up. Option A, hold. Option B, pivot. Slide that guy around with control and coming down. So it's all the same muscle groups. Let's try again. Hopefully we're warm after all that stuff we did earlier. And then slide around. And yeah, you can even see me in my wobbles. Wobbles are good. Means you get stronger. One more time. Wobble your way up. Whew. And then slide around, wobble your way down. And let it go. Nice job. All right. Quickest cool down in the world. I think we're right at the time. Yes, we are. That worked out nicely. So from here, come on up. Hands and knees. Just take a moment. Press down through your feet and your knees. Sit back. Rock forward a few times. This will actually be a little bit of a subtle stretch on the shoulders, believe it or not. Come on up, just come down onto your forearms. Sit back, rock forwards. This is going to be a little bit more lengthen the spine. Good work. Come on up. Do just a smidge of a cat-cow. If it feels good, you can cat-cow irregularly off to the diagonals. And then just sit back into any child's pose, cat stretch thing that you like. I like extension, but you can also curl. And if you're up here, that's okay. Or if you want to stick with a cat-cow, that's okay too. Just stretch through your arms, stretch through your spine. You can kind of rock side to side. Breathe in any tight, stiff bits that you may or may not have. And then just come on up. Find any seated or kneeling position that feels good to you today. Maybe roll the shoulders a couple times. No hurry. I know I tend to transition quick. Feel your breath. Just center yourself for a moment. Taking that feeling of maybe a little bit of sweat. It's pretty warm outside here where I live right now. And hopefully a little bit of calm or energy that you can kind of carry into the rest of your day. So thank you so much for joining me for this one.